Welcome back to the Analog Dungeon. Here's part 2 of Palace of the Silver Princess. So when you approach the Palace of the Silver Princess, you're going to begin on the entrance level. If you are playing with the, old school module, remember that these were paper folios, essentially. You had the whole dungeon on the inside, and then the cardboard cover for the whole thing acted as your map. Mm-hmm. You could open it up, you slide the paper, stapled interior out, and the map is laid out on the inside. Well, the entrance level map is what your DM would be referring to. And much like our B1 Into the Unknown, you would key this dungeon by taking the map and taking the entire adventure, and you would go through with your monsters and your treasure key, and you would fill in the blanks for all the different rooms for what they would have in them. This is how you could make the dungeon a little different every time. If players left and returned, you could rekey different areas to put different monsters or treasure in. And this is an important thing, as we discussed, that's different in this design from other more modern adventures, kind of the separation between the Into the Unknown, that kind of style, and then the Keep on the Borderlands, where everything, the Gygaxian kind of style, is locked down. So as we're going through this, kind of keep that in mind, that each of these rooms, the Dungeon Master would have gone through originally just on a once through and filled in the blanks for monsters and treasures.
They're literal blanks, right?
There are literal blanks.
Yeah.
When you key dungeons, this is kind of an older school thing. When you key dungeons, there are typically blanks for monsters or treasures. There are going to be several rooms in here that list there is no monster or treasure in this room. But there are other, remember that when this adventure was written, it was intended to be a more open-ended adventure. In other words, it was meant to be the kind of like big, wide-open crayon book that someone could come in and draw a lot of their own pictures into. There is a lot of like structure and bones to this, but there may be more fuzziness than other DMs are expecting, especially just considering other, adventures that were being published at the same time. And certainly if you were to compare this to the green cover version, the replacement version of this, you would definitely see a lot more structure applied as compared to the orange cover version. So the very first thing that players will see whenever they're coming to the entrance level is a imposing and foreboding double portcullis, this big double layered gate that blocks the entryway of a 30-foot wide corridor. A breeze is gently blowing from the palace corridor, and it carries with it the dust of decayed stone and the smell of decaying bodies. Occasionally, sounds of pain, fright, and hunger can be heard, but they are far away and sometimes muffled.
Some guy's stomach is rumbling somewhere. You're like, well, is this sounds? I hear sounds of hunger, very audibly. That's weird.
Begin the Snickers encounter. But they are far away and sometimes muffled, so that all that may be heard is a short, piercing scream and then total silence. In other words, your general kind of background track of music from a haunted house built in a high school gym or at a Halloween Express.
Or Spirit Halloween.
Spirit Halloween.
Yeah, Spirit Halloween. Walk in. Yeah. We love it.
And then one random animatronic just jumps out in the middle of everything.
We love it. I mean, at this point, that would be easier to find than the 14-hour compilations of D&D music you can get on YouTube now.
Also, a portion of those sounds that you're hearing, they're literal music. They are enchanted voices that are meant to give like faraway piercing screams, soon muffled, a voice irritating someone pain. It's literally like canned music.
Piping it in
at the entrance to this dungeon.
Weird. So we've talked a lot in the past, and we'll continue to talk a lot in the future about dungeon as theme park. And this is, you could not get more theme park.
So there is also a literal "you must be this swole to get into the dungeon" check at the very beginning, because the portcullis, according to the modules written, the portcullis requires a combined 30 strength points in order to raise it. Like, you have to look at your whole party and say, does everyone have in total, all your strength scores are a total of 30? And if so, you will raise the portcullis, which will remain up a 1d4 number of rounds.
So no party of wizards then.
The bus from the Wizarding Academy that's here, everybody is like, they all look at the driver, and the driver's like, I ain't paid for this.
My strength's 4. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep. There are no monsters in this area. No monsters keyed. There is a 1 in 10 chance that you could attract a monster from the portcullis crashing down. This then extends into 2 paths. Paths that are labeled 1A and 1B. And each of them have another set of portcullises that are protecting them from letting go further in the dungeon. These are a little lesser, though. They only require 20 strength points to raise.
In case some people die in the courtyard, you still need to be able to get in.
Yeah, but it's a nice little kind of like kind of barbican, a basic way of kind of protecting the beginning of this dungeon and making it so that if people are getting in, it's kind of obvious that it's happening. I'm picturing the gate at the beginning of the first major dungeon in Elden Ring, where you can either slip through the side and kind of like sneak along the walls and face kind of animals on the outside of it, or you can raise the gate. I'm going through the gate, and you turn around and there's 20 guys with 4 ballistae all just hi.
Yeah, have door, make big.
Yep. So the 2 passageways. Jeremy, your party has entered the dungeon. Your first decision is before you. Do you take the passageway on the left or the passageway on the right?
Oh, well, there's no difference between the two other than these are 2 paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. Led Zeppelin.
Basically is the portcullises you raise and then they lower, and you could come back and then you raise them to get past them again.
Well, I mean, I would go. Let's see. Let's go right.
So facing the doors, you're going to the right.
To the right.
Your party of jocks easily handles the doors, allowing all of the robe-wearing pansies to be able to
slip right through. There you go. Yep. There you go, ladies.
Now, what's really interesting is kind of like some of our other modules. This has a very full key of different notations for the map. So for instance, a full square crossing a wall is a door, while a half square that meets the wall is a false door. So as you're going down this corridor, there's actually a lot of different kinds of doors that are along the way that may not be fully they're not fully explained in the text of the module. They're meant for you to look at the signs, interpret them. Some of them are going to be mentioned, some of them won't. And then you can kind of add in a little bit here or there. So for instance, you have one kind of 50-50 choice. Well, now you've got another one. You have this double portcullis that you took to the right. Well, it extends either to the south or to the west. Are you going forward or are you going to your right?
You got to go forward. If you're not, it looks like a shark. If I'm not going forward, if I'm not moving forward, I die.
There you go. So always forward, forward always.
Forward always.
If you head forward, you are going to pass a long hallway that extends straight ahead, kind of down the main throat of this dungeon. There is, on the map noted, there is a false door on the right-hand side as you're headed down this hallway that should lead you into a room that has kind of a thicker empty space on the other side of it. But you could potentially use this as maybe a hidden area. There's a big kind of open black spot on the map that would normally just be, rock walls. But if you wanted to I'm just going to toss another room in here because, I feel like it. That's a totally acceptable thing. You could use it as a little kind of Sally port or pop out that some wandering monsters step out through all of a sudden.
So as a false, you're calling it a false door.
I'm calling it, it's a false door, not a secret door. I'm I'm mixing up my
yeah. Because a false door is just like a door with nothing behind it, right? So
yeah. So this is actually the opposite of that. This is the door that you try to open and it falls down flat.
Okay.
And there's nothing behind it.
Gotcha. Which, and you said there are lots of these.
Well, there's lots of different kinds of doors and entryways. This is like the very first thing that you're going to come across as you come down this way is this false door. Other passageways might have secret doors or secret traps or other things.
Sure. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Yeah. So just a door that somebody just really liked doors. Let's just throw doors everywhere. What about but boss? There's nothing here. This door doesn't. But I really feel like a door should be there. So just like hammer it into the wall. Oh, okay. Later. You get lost. Oh God, where do I? Oh no, there's a door up here. Hang on, we're saved. Oh fuck! Someone was obsessed with doors.
Can you also imagine that party that is also just like, well, like keep an eye on it. We have to be prepared. Yeah. We have to be ready. We're all gonna like everybody stand there. 3, 2, 1. Door opens to a wall.
Swords clang against the arrows. Fireball.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Yeah. And I like and. It would be fun even to have like a wizard who could utilize that as like his way of getting around the like you get to the end and there's a wizard who can utilize all the false doors.
Yeah. So as you proceed forward, past this false door, the other end of the corridor has a pit marked on it. That is a pit trap. I have not come across any description of what kind of pit trap it is.
Sure.
So we're just going to say it's a standard pit trap that can open up under the first person to walk across.
Right. just your standard sawdust on the floor, lunch pail in hand pit trap. No spikes, none of those newfangled the young pit traps these days. They're adding poison and spikes with more poison on them. Back in my day, there were two kinds of pit traps. There was pit trap, and then there was a pit trap after it rained that had some water in it. And that was good enough for Dad, and damn it, it's good enough for me.
Is it a magical pit trap? No. Is it a secret pit trap? Not really. Is it a like raising pit trap where it smashes against the ceiling? No, it's just a hole. Trap.
It's as God intended it.
Huh. So, from the pit trap, you can proceed either to the south, where 15 feet ahead of you, you see a door and a T intersection. You can tell that the corridor splits ahead of you. Or you can split off to the east. Do you continue forward? Or
I want to know if this door is another false door or if it's a real door.
Yeah, so you're going to continue straight forward, hit this T hallway, and then hit this door. Yep. In the T hallway, looking to your left and right, you will be able to see that the corridor continues a good distance in either direction. Headed to your left as you look at the door, to the east, you will see the corridor kind of branches off again and then hits another door. To your east, you're going to see that there is a intersection of 3 different corridors, the one you're in, the one across from it, and the one that juts off to the south. That continues well on another about 50 feet, 60 feet before ending in another door that has several hallways kicking off of it. So you're in a very busy part of the dungeon right now.
Yeah, clearly.
But you want to investigate the room that's directly in front of you, right?
Yeah.
You've walked in, the very first thing, you said, I'm walking forward, and you kept going forward, and you hit a door.
I've probably skipped like most of the dungeon. This is open it up. It's the other end of the... I was like, oh, shit. I just speed ran this dungeon on accident.
All right. So... do you know what is written in the module for this room that you have randomly chosen out of all the other rooms surrounding you?
By your tone of voice, I'm going to assume not much.
No, not much indeed. In fact, nothing. Nothing has been written about this room. I'm serious. It is a 10-foot wide, 15-foot deep room with a door on the eastern wall when you come into it. But the room description is blank, the monster keying is blank, and the treasure keying is blank. It's literally left up for the DM to fill with whatever they want.
Okay.
It is a multi-purpose room in that there is no purpose for it.
I would quibble with the use of the word multi as opposed to no use room. So this would allow a we found the DM my first dungeon room. So you weren't me. You were supposed to see other rooms before you got here. And possibly. as a DM, you can just kind of stick right along with that theme. But here we're basically just a big white void, like Neo and the Architect, just hanging out.
It's just an empty room. It's just a plain room. Okay. You have the door to the north that you came through, and there is a door to your east that you can go through.
Well, I'm in that room.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Where does the non-room lead?
So the door to the east opens into a room that actually does have a pretty lengthy description.
Holy shit! We go from nothing to something.
It's only 5 feet wide and 5 feet long. It is a very small chamber, more of a passageway than a room.
Okay.
It is very cramped, and there are several sets of empty shelves on the wall. When you step into it, it triggers the pit trap that is in this room.
Hey! Another pit trap.
Yep. The pit trap in the floor of this storage passage will be activated by the first person to step onto it, and triggered by the second one who steps onto it. Once triggered, the floor will swing open and drop whatever is on it into a 10-foot deep pit. The cover will then swing back up and lock shut. Anyone falling into the pit will take 1d6 points of damage. With a nice, handy, old-school dungeon, first edition saving throw notation, save versus death ray for half damage.
I love that. They have these. Your on your I guess on your character sheet you have all these different things you can save against, and at some point it feels like, because I had one thing that was like save versus petrification that had absolutely fucking nothing to do with petrification. It's like they were sitting around one day trying to think of all the shit that you could do to a player and like write this grand list of things that can happen to you, and eventually they were like, fuck it, we can't come up with it anymore, just use that list and use whichever one seems good.
Yeah, we need a save versus puce. But yeah, it was different effects that
yeah.
And it delineated all these different saving throws and the ability to save against them into their individual effects. So falling into a pit in this case would be saving versus death ray.
I mean, because those are basically exactly the same thing.
Well, yeah, they're both dungeon hazards.
Sure. So our buddy, I like to think this is the trap that, you know, the people you've played with who are just like, for some reason they're in a hurry everywhere. They're like, oh, we can't stand around and discuss things in this room. We got to keep going. We got to keep going. Yeah. This is that guy. Got to keep going. Ignores everybody else, especially from an empty room. Because he's like, oh my God, what the fuck? Goes immediately to the other thing, opens the door, walks in, and everyone else goes, hold on, let's take a minute. Let's look. The elf and the fighter are flirting. And then they walk over to it and they go, oh, where'd our guy go? And he's just gone.
Here's the other part. There's a little bit more fun that occurs with this. After one round, small openings will appear in the walls and oil will pour into the pit.
The closed pit?
Yes, there is. The oil will continue to spill forth until it lies an inch deep over the entire surface area of the floor. Okay. So it'll pour like you're down in the pit. Sure.
Right? Which you don't want to be down. So, don't be down in the pit.
You don't want to be down in the pit.
You don't want to be down in the pit.
So you fell in, the lid locked, and you're just like, well, now what? And then oil starts pouring on you until it's an inch deep in the bottom. And then another opening happens and a torch falls in.
Oh, fuck! What kind of Rube Goldberg ass shit is this?
Now it should be noted. It should be noted when the adventurers are here, the torch is unlit.
Oh, fuck you. Come on.
Back in the day, it would have been lit. Can you imagine?
That's so funny. I like to think, because you said there was music earlier, I like to think that as the oil starts pouring in, it plays that. You're like, why am I? And then the torch falls in. Come on, light the torch. That's so funny to me. Oh my god.
In that case, the screams would be real. Oh. But can you just picture that, your Tweedledee and Tweedledunk that fell in, and you're yelling at each other, and then oil starts pouring in, and then you're like, the elf and the fighter that are flirting back in the now empty room. It's like, wow, it got quiet all of a sudden. Meanwhile, and then just like, hatch slides open, torch falls in, slow-mo drifts down in between their faces.
It's so cartoony.
Like, oh, damn.
It's so cartoony. Like,
oh, but it's great.
It's great. It's such a card. I don't know what makes it. I don't know why the torch makes it funny, but it's like a Rube Goldberg machine.
Oh, it's so. Now, here's the thing: if you're following along, and I'm telling you this just because, like, of course, people can go at this different ways.
Sure.
One of the little things I love about this is room 20, keyed in the dungeon. Uh-huh. It makes a reference to a previous room you haven't gotten to, called room 15. Okay. And the note says, note that any character covered in glitter from the secret door at room EL15
what?
who has fallen into this pit will discover the glitter is coming off due to the oil.
What?
I just wanted to throw that in there as like a little foreshadowing.
There's a stripper room?
Because that fucking tickled me so much.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Yep. Special note about any of you glittered individuals out there. If you met Sandy, the orc stripper, and you gave her those 3 gold pieces she was asking for, well, what she left behind is it's only going to be memories from now on. Oh my god!
The phone number that was written on the person's palm wipes away, and it reveals a message underneath it. She wasn't going to call you.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
But no, there is. So on the opposite side of the room that this pit trap was in, there's another door, and it leads into a very empty, no description in the module room. This one has a fireplace noted in it on the map, but still, that the thing that got the most description was this storage room between these two, kind of big empty rooms that has this cartoon
pit trap in it.
Oh, I mean, on the one hand, I'm just like, really, but on the other hand, I love this.
I mean, this is.
There's also a piece of art that is in the module that shows 2 characters that are apparently in this pit, one of whom is like diving forward onto her chest to try and catch the torch before it hits the oil.
Yeah. That has to be, that's definitely like, oh my god, roll a reflex, or whatever the fuck you were rolling here. Roll to catch the torch before it hits.
What would that be in first edition? Like roll versus fish or something. Yeah. God, who knows? But it reminds me of that Justified scene where Raylan pours the gas on the guy. He pulls the gun out. He's like, "You didn't finish high school, did you? It's not the fuel that burns. It's the fumes."
That's right. That's so good. As much as we hear and as much as we talked about Gene Wells as wherever on that side of the fence you fall, one way or the other. The fact that when this was like a continuation of some of her home games that she was playing, and like, I got the sense that it was kind of loose, kind of dare I say silly.
Well, considering these were also just like the early days.
Yeah. And you were kind of playing it we've played games that ended up being silly. We've played games that ended up being, whatever. Like silly D&D is fine. It's fun. But I get the vibe here where like I think I would have loved to have sat at her table and played, because this is the sort of shit that is just so much fun that I love it that she intentionally makes it cartoony. So it just, hats off to Gene Wells.
Yeah. Everyone sets out to be like King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, and they wind up being somewhere between Monty Python and JoJo's Bizarre
100%.
So once you've kind of like dealt with this, you have 2 rooms with no purpose, solely to have this pit trap in between them in a storage room.
Sure.
You can exit the second of the rooms to the east into a corridor, or you can go back to the original corridor.
Let's exit in the other room and
go
out.
Places you haven't been.
Yeah.
So you come into a corridor that runs north-south. You can go back to the north, and it will go back to that corridor you were in, the long east-west corridor.
Let's go hit some stuff that we've missed, since I had the grand luck of running into the emptiest of rooms.
Yeah. So imagine you're running east-west, and that's kind of one side of the square, and you have now come up the eastern side, the north-south side of that square. So you can go to the east, and there is a door. That's kind of your closest door, about 15 feet away. Or you can head in the opposite direction on the long corridor to go to the far side.
We'll go to what's closest.
All right. So to the east, you are going to hit a door. And once you open it, you find a small and once luxuriously decorated semicircular room. You're coming in kind of on the diameter of this semicircle, and the arc in front of you kind of curves. The walls curve in front of you to form the rest of the circle. There's a tiny 3x3 alcove in which stands a statue of a young girl with an arm outstretched. The area seems peaceful.
Okay.
So you can search the room, investigate the room, do all the different kind of things you would do, right?
Yeah. And then, so there's a semicircle. There's another way out of here?
Well, they're to the north, because you came in on the south side of this room. The wall kind of arcs around from your left until it forms this closed circle. In the middle of this circle, there is a alcove in which there is that statue of the girl holding her hand out. To the north, there is another door. So it's kind of on the same wall that you came in from.
Okay, well,
it's just like to the north of you instead of where you came in.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, what's up with this girl?
So you can kind of investigate the alcove. You can check out kind of what's going on around the statue. The statue itself, it doesn't really do anything, but there is a secret door hidden in the back of the alcove behind the statue.
Okay. Which we have an elf in this party, which we have established, so they would find that straight away.
Right. Elves have the native ability to be able to track secret doors.
For some reason, weird native ability to have, but they have it, and it seems to make sense. Yeah.
Opening it will pour down 200 copper worth of golden glitter upon the first person.
Hey, we found the glitter room.
Ta-da! Ta-da! Although I imagine it's kind of like, it is like that. You found the secret door. Da-dun! And there's this big explosion of glitter.
It's a fucking gender reveal. It's a dungeon.
Right, exactly. It cannot be removed except by oil or animal fat.
Okay, well, hey. I kind of found it the other way around, but yeah, sure.
Why do we care about this? Well, it actually glows.
Oh, it's that expensive glitter.
Yeah. If the players attempt to wash off the glitter with wine or water, all that will succeed is rearranging it a little.
Okay.
The only way to avoid the trap is to put a weight on the pressure plate just inside the secret door. This will set off the trap. The glitter will stick to the floor instead. Obviously, a heavy enough weight on a 10-foot pole would probably achieve this.
So this is an anti-sneaking measure.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. The glitter will glow in the dark, adding +3 to the chance of being surprised by any opponent in line of sight.
Okay.
So you will stick out like a sore thumb all throughout the rest of this dungeon.
Everyone who sees you goes, "Is that guy covered in glitter?"
Yeah,
and you will be that guy.
Yep. Once you go pass through the secret door, the first thing that you will see upon entering this room, which is a 10x10 room, square room. You're entering from the west, and there is a door to the north, is a plaque that reads, "All that glitters is not gold." Can you imagine being like the fighter or the elf that just got glitter bombed, and then the door opens, and there's let's say a mirror with a little sign underneath it that says "All that glitters is not gold."
This dungeon is making fun of me. It's just like a fun house.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's...
There is also a small fountain of water in one corner, and both the north and south walls are covered by arrases. Arras. And this is an archaic word that I have not really.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's covered with pictures of Paris Hilton.
They're tapices. They're tapestries.
They're tapices. They're tapices. They're small.
We found the tapas.
What's a tapas for? We found small Spanish appetizers everywhere.
They're tapestries.
Okay.
Arras, Arras, rich tapestries typically hung on the walls of a room, used to conceal an alcove.
Oh.
Yeah. So one arras has a scene of a young maiden with golden hair sitting on a silver throne. Upon her head rests a coronet of silver and rubies, and in her hand a scepter of silver topped by a very large blood red.
I've heard about this person.
The other arras shows a warrior in blue and silver armor resting casually in a wooden armchair decorated with carvings. His feet are propped up on a stool.
Now this is I'm trying to remember. This is the dragon. This is the dragon guy.
So depending on like which version of the module you run, there are different kind of men with dragons that figure into this.
Sure.
If you're playing the Gene Wells version, if you're playing the orange covered version, then this guy kind of showed up and was really like into the princess and into the ruby and was really trying to demand that they both be his. If you go into the other one, it's an entirely different story.
Weird. No, the other story was really convoluted. This made sense. The guy was there, thought the princess was hot, thought that the ruby was dope, left, got his dragon, came back. That guy.
Kind of that, like, you know, I am powerful and male and virile and thus filled with a conquering countenance to claim and conquest
for
everything.
Sure. Let me go get the huge lizard that is definitely not me compensating for anything.
Right, exactly, yeah. I showed you my huge lizard, please respond. Oh. Toxic masculinity.
Hey!
All right. So after this room, once you have finished kind of washing yourself off in the sink to no avail, you can leave to the north, and there is a short corridor that goes 15 feet north and then 15 feet to the east. Your elf senses are twitching like crazy because there are two different secret doors in this corridor.
Well, secret door numero uno.
Yeah. Immediately upon leaving the doorway to the north, out of the room with the arras and the tapas, you to your east, there is a room that has 4 statues in each corner of the room. 4 total statues, 1 in each corner.
Okay.
Each statue is of a young girl in a different pose. Between the 2 statues on the east wall is a kneeling bench, and on it rests an open book. Plush rugs that are still in fair condition cover the floor. This is the diary of Lady Argenta. It simply tells of the fighter in silver and blue armor coming to her home, winning her love, and then marrying her. It stops after the 4th day of their marriage. It does mention my lady's heart, in quotation marks, being somewhere in the living quarters of the palace, hidden in a teak wood jewel case. So right away, you, in your party, have stumbled onto information that, my lady's heart, this big jeweled ruby that you just saw in this tapestry, we now have a direct location of where we can find it and what it is hidden in.
Okay. And
that's pretty good.
And thank you. It's not my first day in the dungeon. But we hadn't heard about the marriage. We just knew that he came back and started some shit. So
yeah, if I remember correctly, the elves and dwarves were like kind of like, this guy's trouble, and then they tried to take him outside, and he took them outside instead.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we know what to look for. We need to look for a teakwood jewelry box, basically. In her bedroom?
Something like that, okay. Yeah. If you were to explore the rest of this corridor outside of this room, it extends to the east before collapsing into basically just a cave-in.
Sure.
To the north, there is another false door that might frustrate some people for a bit. And to the west, there is a secret door that leads to stairs or ramp leading down.
That's boogie.
I should note, and this is another like, what? In this corridor, for the description of the rubble caving in, it says the area seems to have been in some kind of explosion or earthquake. Rubble covers the floor. Occasionally, whimpers like those from a puppy can be heard. They frequently start only to stop a few seconds later.
So the dungeon is fucking with us.
Yeah, it says the whimpering is only the wind blowing through the rubble. And I gotta wonder, how do you come up with that? Like, what camping trip were you on that you heard that and were like scrambling looking for a lost puppy for an hour only to realize, oh shit, it's just
that's like a reed that's been broken just right, and the wind blows through it and it whimpers. Yeah, this dungeon is Gene Wells she's playing those mind games.
So if you proceed down the ramp, you will go along a long east-west corridor that stretches about 50 feet before hitting a sharp turn northward. You will hit another pit trap that's just in the middle of the road.
Okay, another classic pit trap.
Right. We always are. We be aware and we are careful around long straight corridors.
That's right. Well, get our 10-foot pole out and like we're blind.
Exactly. So once you tap your way to the other end of this corridor, it rises up a ramp again to another secret door that opens into a small corridor. It extends 20 feet to the east and extends north 10 feet before hitting another secret door that would take you further into the dungeon.
Okay.
So do you want to explore this door that's to your east?
Let's knock it out.
All right. Heading to the east and then opening this door at the far end, the description is, in another Gene Wells special, this is an empty room. The DM may wish to insert an encounter of their own, choosing and stock the room with valueless items designed to waste a party's time. This also applies to the other empty rooms provided throughout this module.
Oh, I feel like I've gone backward.
A little bit.
And this should have been the first empty. This was anticipated to be the most likely first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're looking at rooms, like there's a series of like labeled 1A through 1F, which I don't see why you wouldn't label those 1, 2, 3. Like maybe your first two entrances, 1A and 1B, you label them that, but then all the others should be like 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. But yes, this is the first empty, waste his time.
Gotcha. Waste his time
that you come across.
Yeah. So now I understand and I will say I understand theoretically why you would want to have these rooms and be specific that there's valueless stuff in there, because the values aren't just the valuable stuff's not just going to be sitting out. This place has been here for a long time. There's definitely been people through here successfully or unsuccessfully. That much I get.
Yep. So you can expect, like now that we've seen this, several of these empty rooms are meant to be just like throw a monster in here. You want to do something else with them, go right ahead. It's meant to be that more creative, interpretive, what vibes am I feeling? Yeah. Like if you really want to push to it, this kind of dungeon was a could be a kind of vibes-based dungeon, because you could like, I'm feeling this. Let's make the room this. And there's no reason why you couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, or if there's a monster that you really like, or if there's a monster that your players really like, or that you were just talking about, you wanted to have fun with, you wanted to test out, great opportunity to throw in, any number of weird things.
Yeah. So anyway, you leaving this room going north through the secret passageway. You can proceed either north, and you will see that other double portcullis that was originally the one you came in from.
Okay, so I've
the path you didn't choose.
I've made a big U-turn.
You have made a U-turn. Yeah. You've looped back towards the entrance, and you now see the other entrance you didn't.
Gotcha.
You can also head to your east. There is a corridor that dips down ahead on a ramp, and then there is a corridor that shoots to.
No, that seems pretty wise. Just clear this bit out, and then go back through the portcullis and back through the way we came, and maybe take the other direction.
Yeah, very good. So clearing this section of the dungeon out, because it is kind of its own little mini wing off to the side. You're going to find a small room, just like the room that you found that was a quote-unquote empty room, only this one's not quite empty. The walls of this room are collapsing. Moisture clings to everything, and purple moss grows everywhere. Torches flicker and sputter as if they're not getting enough oxygen to burn. The air feels heavy and hard to breathe. A sweet smell fills the room and gets stronger as time passes. In this room is a monster, the purple moss, or a hazard, I guess. It is a type of plant that thrives on moisture and flesh. The sweet smell the party has detected is a sleeping gas produced by the plant. Once the victim is asleep, the moss will quickly cover the body and devour it in less than an hour.
So I don't want moss to quickly do anything.
Hell freaking
no.
Anyone who has watched the Last of Us series, one of the things that I thought is just like really enhancing the horror nature of the cordyceps, zombie fungal growth in that show, were any of the scenes that showed it just like fucking moving. Like in the very, very first scene where she's autopsying the body, and it just like begins reaching out from the thing's mouth.
No.
Oh,
no.
You want to talk about body horror? Like that'll activate you in a hurry.
No.
Yep. So once the victim is asleep, they'll devour it, and then they will hide the bones of the dinner by covering them until they become indistinguishable from any other normal mound of moss. Each player will have to make a successful save versus spells to avoid being affected by the sleep gas. The purple moss cannot be harmed except by normal or magical fire.
Yeah, so this is a hazard for sure. This moss is not to be trifled with.
Oh yeah,
Wild.
no. This is not the soft and springy moss, and it's kind of lavender, and it's kind of like
it's so pretty,
getting sleepy, and then your lunch.
Yuck! This is scary and gross.
Yep. So a little further down east from that, there is a couple of kind of caverns or areas where the dungeon kind of stops being kind of regimented from, being constructed and becomes instead loose and open. One of them is a huge cave filled with a sweet smell of fresh water. The source is obviously a rather large gray stone pool of water that almost covers the entire floor. Occasionally, bubbles rise to the surface, but apart from that, the water's quiet. A small ledge circles one edge of the pool. The ledge is wide enough for one fully armored person to inch around the pool to the other side, where an opening can be seen. So as you guys begin to kind of like move around, you might disturb the water. And if you do, 12 bubbles will rise to the surface to defend the lair.
Wait, 12 bubbles?
Yes, this is a new monster created by Gene Wells for this, or another type of they're just bubbles.
Can I say the variety and of monsters in here is crazy?
Right, and that was one of the things that was talked about with regards to when editors were looking at this, like when the upper ups got looked at this and they were like, this is weird. No. Orcs. Put orcs back.
Right, yeah. I was gonna say, there's not Gene Wells looks at a goblin as goblins were yesterday. Today, bubbles. Exactly.
This is to an extent it's the rodents of unusual size, right?
Sure.
It is let's take something and let's twist it up. And in this case, it was cool, bubbles. And the bubbles will surprise the party by rising to the surface all at once.
They'll surprise the party by being bubbles that you have to worry about, first of all.
Right. And if they hit someone, they deal 1 to 4 points of damage, and they have to save or be paralyzed.
Oh, fuck. So it's it's like a sharp bubble full of paralysis gas?
Well, the bubble hits them, and then if they're paralyzed, the bubble engulfs them.
Oh, fuck.
And sinks down to the bottom of the pool 15 feet deep.
What the
And they will suffocate unless the bubble is popped.
This is crazy.
If the victim can't be saved, the bubble expels the dead victim, rises to the surface, and attacks again.
Sure, yeah. I mean, its thirst for blood knows no bounds.
And there's 12 of them.
Oh, God. Well, okay, so I have to say, if this thing has more than 2 hit points. I'm calling foul because it's a fucking bubble.
Right.
Wild.
Yeah. I could see this being like some kind of aberrant creature.
Yes.
In further editions of D&D. You could have made this an aberrant jellyfish-like thing, like an anti-flumph, if you will. And it has paralyzing tentacles that like that then slurp it into its body and then drag it into the water.
It's an anti-flumph. I love that. That's the
kind of sort.
Yeah, wild.
Or it could or you could even, if I'm like designing stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm taking what already exists, you could take something like a carrion crawler, which is a relatively like early threat you could face in a dungeon, and its primary threat is paralyzing.
Sure.
And it might paralyze people, and then these bubbles, all they do is they just engulf and drag into the water.
Yeah.
And they could symbiotically work
just
together.
The fact that this whole dungeon is... And I mean, this makes sense, obviously, because this was somebody who learned D&D before D&D was D&D. And so really kind of there was definitely a period in her life where she would have had to have like filled in some blanks that just hadn't been answered yet, right? And so when you don't have a monster man, you have to make up your own monsters, which I'm sure was the situation she was in at least some point. Yeah, you're going to make stuff, but it's crazy how we don't really get stuff like this. Which I guess from a business standpoint means maybe the green cover people were ultimately right. But well, that's one way of reading it. I will let my artistic soul fly. But this is like it's a dungeon with all new shit in it. Like this is Dungeons and Dragons, but like everything's new. Like you're not going to know how to do anything with anybody. Like, you know it. You know trolls regenerate. You know you ghosts. You can't punch a ghost, but like until you get the ability to punch ghosts. But like this is like, how do you fight a bubble? How do you even know that a bubble's a monster? Like just my mind is. I think my mind's blown. I think Gene Wells blew my mind with her bubbles. Blew my mind and bubbles.
Right. Exactly. She blew the bubbles. It blew your mind. Yeah. The thing about this approach, right? This design approach is it is great if you are serving a very specific and directed audience.
Sure.
But if you are looking at creating something that has mass appeal,
for sure,
then I could see it being a hard sell.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to reach a mass audience. And this is what people, I would argue, get wrong or fail to give enough credence to when they are considering changes or design decisions or big decisions that are made on behalf of like the stewards of the largest role-playing game on the planet, is that when we're trying to make something that is going to appeal to a very broad audience, inherently you're going to have to make things that are either simple, make things that are like broadly appealing, and not things that are going to, only tickle that one nerve.
Right,
that
right.
One part of the
you can't. It needs to be. It's radio rock. It's not. Right. It's not like a deep cut from some band you've never heard of. Like it has to be. It's got to be Nickelback. Like,
it's your format radio as opposed to your disc jockeys who would come in to dig back into the media that we love, the analog media that we love. It's your disc jockeys are like Gene Wells. They're people who have their own backgrounds and histories that care a lot about their particular thing that they're really knowledgeable about. And so they're bringing and grooving on all the stuff that is like in their discography and in their lexicon. Whereas format radio is about, no, you have to have this music during drive time. You have to have this music in the evening. You have to save the teenager, bop and rock until after the parents go to bed. Like one serves a different purpose.
Sure.
And, bubbles get you there. But if you manage to kill all the bubbles,
pop all the bubbles,
you get some loot for it.
Where do the bubbles keep their loot?
It's at the bottom of the pool. It's where all the bodies got dragged.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. God, that means that he's been successful
for a while.
And the stuff is weirdly. It's like I'm gonna do cute, but also creepy, kind of.
Oh man, yeah. So that also, So it feels to me like it fits a vibe that's kind of Labyrinth. It's kind of Jim Henson creepy. Yeah. It's Dark Crystal creepy.
Yeah.
Like
Dark Crystal.
It's very sure. Like late 80s, early 90s. I'm here for that kind of feeling. You know what I mean? But anyway, so we're back in 1980, 1981, and we're popping bubbles. And at the bottom of this pool, you're going to find 133 gold pieces and a silver-headed wolf ring worth 33 gold.
Cool.
There is a set of stairs that heads down into this natural cavern on the other side of this pool that are intentionally left to openness. They could be a cave-in, or the DM could expand them if they wish to. There is also a second set of stairs around a second pool. This small rectangular cave opens up the base of long step stairs. Red coarse sand surrounds a small gray pool of water. The ledge around the water is wide enough for a fully armored person to walk with ease. So a wider ledge around this kind of watery pool, leading to a similar caved in or heading off into whatever DM wants kind of area. The sand is colored red. If the party rinses the sand, they will discover that it is normal, coarse sand, but once dry, becomes red again. The water doesn't contain any monsters, but if the party examines the pool carefully, they will find it is spring-fed. The drain appears to be near the southern end of the pool. If this is plugged and the pool is allowed to flood, adventurers will discover the cave floor gently slopes to the south. After several hours, a steady stream will appear, and after several days, the entire basin at the base of the southern stairs will be completely flooded. If the party does block the drain, note it for future reference. That smacks of like someone has pulled this crap.
Someone did this. Someone was like, I'm going to plug the drain and see what happens. Oh, nothing. Okay, fine. Then they left.
I'm going to plug the drain, flood the dungeon, and come back 3 days later. Yeah, where is my XP?
And then later, they were running back through, probably being chased by some horrible, adorable creature. And they end up they open a door and they end up in chest high water. And like, I wasn't so smart flooding that corridor now, was it, Steve?
God. But yeah, so that wraps up that kind of northeastern kind of corner of this entry level. You go back to the entrance out of the other portcullis, the one you hadn't opened prior. So you can either start again at the first portcullis you opened at the very beginning of this whole thing, or you can go back to that pair of kind of nonsense rooms that had the pit trap between them.
We'll start back over from the beginning, and I'll just take the other direction.
Sure. So you're going to head west from the beginning as opposed to south. That makes the most sense. Corridor goes about 25, 30 feet, then curves back to the south. Heading south, you're going to find a hallway that is covered in doors. There's 4 doors on the east side, all kind of spaced out. There's lots of rooms, and all their entrances are on this hallway.
But no false doors.
Halfway down the corridor, you're going to find a secret door.
A secret door, not a false door.
Not a false door, secret door.
Okay.
There is a pit trap in front of it.
Of course there is.
Right.
I love these just
you
random.
You just hear that guy fall in. Not again.
Well, you gotta teach people for later when they fall into the pit trap and then the cartoon hijinks begin. Let's go room by room.
All right, so kicking the doors open one at a time. First room to the north.
Empty.
Read. No, this one. No, these are all described. Reed pens, dried inkwells, and hundreds of scrap paper litter this room. There are several huge oak tables overturned near the southeast corner. The room appears to have been some kind of study, classroom, or library. There are no books or intact scrolls anywhere to be seen. Hidden behind the tables, though, family of 5 kobolds.
Ooh, wait, a family of 5 kobolds.
That's where it's like, oh.
I was like, yay.
Family.
Oh, no.
Family. Damn it. Context matters.
Yes.
If the party decides to search the room, or they discover the kobolds might be hiding.
Oh, a hiding family of kobolds.
Yeah.
Way to ruin my fun.
They might head towards the table and then they just jump out and attack. Because it says if they search the room or discover the kobolds will fight. Otherwise, they remain hidden until the danger passes.
Oh.
Buried in the rubble of the kobold's nest are 50 copper pieces.
Okay. Well, this is the part that makes you feel sad.
Well, it's like depending on who you are, you might just be like, God, no, get off and kick them and then shut the door and then they just scamper back behind the table. right? Or if your party includes Anakin Skywalker,
you see that darkness. You see that there's a family, and then
yep. There's just darkness and flames, and then the kobold parts scattered around, and 50 copper coins in his bloody hand. The wages of the dark side. Heading back to the south, the next room up is basically a trash room. Rotten bags of grain, old brooms, and 3 decaying beer barrels full of vinegar. So this was former storage. Are all that remain in the shelved room. It appears once to have been a storeroom. It is not obvious as to whether the inhabitants left the grain and beer because they couldn't transport them, or because they had no choice but to leave them. If you decide to kind of poke around, you will discover one barrel is full of pickled snakes.
Pickled snakes?
Oh, that sounds like a delicacy.
Yeah, that's that scene in Indiana Jones that didn't hold up to time with the monkey brains. That's what they're eating, pickled snakes.
That's a Jello. That is a Jello advertisement right there.
Absolutely.
All right, next room to the south of your pickled snake storage.
Now I want pickled snakes.
Right? Pickled snake. I wonder. That's the alcoholic protagonist of the Metal Gear Solid franchise,
Pickled
right?
Snake.
Pickled snake. He's in a bar. Is somewhere. He's got a Hawaiian shirt on and his bandana and his mullet and his angst, and he's pickled snake.
He hides in a box, but it's a Tito's vodka box.
It's a Tito's box.
It's a Tito's box. I mean, it still works. Who among us have not gotten a box from a liquor store?
Oh God. All right, so just south, the area was a kitchen. There are many wooden trenchers, spoons, and knives scattered around the tables and floors. 3 large tubs full of water sit on stools near the fireplace. One is full of green fungus. A pair of grease-soaked rags lies in one corner of the room near a keg of dried beans. Pots and other assorted dishes and cooking utensils are also lying strewn about the room and are beyond cleaning or repair.
Sure.
Hidden in the rags is a spitting cobra.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Weird.
An unpickled snake.
Yeah, a non-pickled snake. Yep. That was my family, you bastard. You know what's weird? Anytime now, I think this is officially how this podcast has changed my brain. When we did Princess Arlena, the Rusty the Rust Monster was in the kitchen.
Oh, yes.
And I thought at the time, yes, that's exactly where a rust monster, if it was going to be in a house, would be in a normal house, because that's the place with all the metal, all the pots and pans,
snuffling out all the cast iron.
Exactly. That's exactly where you'd be.
Using its mandibles to pull the silver drawers or the utensil drawers out on the ground, and then just scooping them all up.
Snacking on them. So now every time there's a kitchen in a dungeon or an adventure like this, I'm going to be looking for
rust monsters. Yeah. Well, the only other hazard in the room, the green fungus that is in that tub, leaves a horrible, sickening, skunk-like smell on whatever it comes into contact with, which will linger for 3 to 18 days.
3 to 18?
Yeah. But if players, because they're who they are, go in on that, they're going to find that inside this tub is a fungus-encrusted gold ring. If the ring is cleaned, players will discover the initials AES carved into it.
Oh, that's the princess's initials?
That's the princess, yeah.
Because her first name is Argento, because I think Sargento, like the cheese.
Right. Or Argent, like silver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep. So, there's one more room to the south, bigger than the rest. At first, it is hard to determine what this room is used for, but after careful observation, it becomes apparent it was once a dining hall, but now is just a total wreck.
Sure.
Tables, benches, and stools have been smashed into hundreds of pieces, also known as flinders.
Yeah, Russell loves him some flinders.
Flinder alert! Torch sconces have been ripped off the walls, graffiti covers one wall, and garbage is piled up about the room in small, stinking heaps. Okay. The remains of several fires can be seen near the center of the room.
To what end?
Well, clearly something has been in here.
here.
Something has been living in here, right? Like several somethings, possibly small collections of somethings.
Right. And it's not the kobolds because we left that innocent family of kobolds alone once we found them. We gave them some food and patted them on their little dragony heads. Right. We definitely didn't kill all of them in cold blood before we learned that they were a family. We're just hiding to survive. So this feels goblin-y?
Actually, it is orcish.
Okay.
The graffiti, if the players examine the fire remains, there is a 25% chance per examination or examiner they will be able to discern from discarded tinderboxes and other tools of orcish make. The fires seem to have been set by orcs. Okay. In addition, the graffiti scrawled on the walls is full of cruel orcish boasts and threats recognizable to any character who speaks and can read.
Grok has small tusks.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those that good orcish graffiti.
Yep. There are several different things to find in here. The first of which is, we talked about him, a carrion crawler.
Hey!
Yeah, like I said, ye old dungeon monsters of old. These were your early level threats.
Yeah.
Biting and paralysis. It's hiding under a tabletop, waiting for someone to get close enough to grab. It is not looking for a fight. It is recovering from battle wounds recently sustained, but it will not flee either. It's literally just a cornered monster.
Sure.
One of the bits of wood lying on the floor amidst the flinders is actually a wand of secret door detection.
Hey, those are very helpful. Stash that away until you get to like level 5 to 8, and then you're going to need it in a dungeon that was designed to make you hate yourself.
Yep. In the process, a ring of what appears to be jailer's keys will also be found. There are 6 keys on the ring, each key exactly alike. So why do you need 6 of them?
Yeah, well, yeah.
If they're exactly alike, why do you need
if they're
6
exactly the same? Well,
same?
I guess you could in this case anyway, you could pass them out to all your friends. That way you could all
McNally and the lockpicking lawyer have entered the chat. The keys have no cash value. They will open cells located in entrance level room 32 for later on. So that's all of the rooms that are on this kind of block area. Once you kind of get past that room on the very south, the dining room, you come to a T at the end of this long corridor. If you head to the east, you'll go back towards the glitter bomb room, as well as the 2 rooms with that storage hallway between them with the pit trap. Okay. Heading east, there is a kind of 3-way intersection before you get there. The east-west side goes where you've already been. There is a south turn that goes further. You can, however, proceed west from where you're currently at in the dungeon. So you kind of hit a T, and there's like more offshoots ahead you haven't been to, or you can go in the westerly direction. There is also the secret door that you missed that goes west, back halfway up the hallway.
Oh yeah. Well, let's just tick these things off. Let's do the secret door and then go somewhere we haven't been.
Cool. Dodging the pit trap in front of it, there is the secret door. It goes down a ramp or set of stairs 10 feet for another secret door, leading you into a north-south direction hallway. To your north, about 10 feet away, there is a door. Directly ahead of you, there is a door, and the hallway proceeds to your south, eventually passing a different door and connecting to that east-west long-running hallway we've been talking about.
Okay, so this is kind of like segmented. We're kind of in the upper portion of the dungeon.
You're absolutely right, yes. So you can either head north to this doorway that's near you. You can head directly across the hall to the doorway that's across from you. You can head further south to the southern doorway, or you can head all the way south to where this hallway is.
Let's find out what the closest door.
Sure. So directly across from this secret entrance, you find a room that contains the remains of bunks, bedrolls, round oaken tables, stools, benches, and dead soldiers which have been beheaded.
Yikes.
Along the north wall is a line of 6 heads.
Eee.
Yeah, things got dark real quick. Darker than a bunch of kobolds that were murdered like younglings for 50 copper pieces. There are no intact weapons left in the room. All the bodies have apparently been searched thoroughly, leaving nothing of value. Upon closer examination, players will notice the insignia on the uniforms of the soldiers resembles a wolf's head with a battlement and ball between the ears, 2 slanted eyes, an arrow where the nose should be, and a lightning bolt on the arrow. That's a funky looking wolf.
Yeah, very funky. But it also matches with the wolf's head key, so or wolf's head ring. So perhaps this is the insignia of the palace itself, or some sort of
possibly,
or some sort of invaders.
Maybe. We have a wolf's head, battlement bowl, 2 slanted eyes, an arrow where the nose should be, and a lightning bolt on the arrow. This could be Defenders of the Palace, or it could be, considering this is a room with like beds and everything in it, this could have been where they were stationed and where they were sleeping.
True.
Yep. As the party searches the room, roll for wandering monsters. If on the first roll, none were indicated, roll again. On the last roll, if one was indicated, the wandering monster will be 2 female thieves, Candela and Duchess, ages 20 and 18. Both women will have an above-average appearance with charisma 14 and 15, respectively, and will attempt to use it to their benefit. They will pretend to be young, inexperienced fighters in search of adventure, fame, and fortune, but mostly fortune. Candela is the spokeswoman of the 2. The 2 thieves will be friendly towards the party, not acting hostile if they win the initiative. They will politely ask to join the party, saying that they're not quite as tough or prepared for adventuring as they had originally thought themselves to be. Duchess will stretch her desire to accompany them, saying she fears she and her companion have made a grave error in attempting to venture into this strange ruin by themselves, especially after seeing the strange 3-headed monsters that they have managed to flee from so far. Both thieves will have the following on them, including normal dungeon supplies, weapons, and thieves' tools. 15 gold, 7 silver, 21 copper. Wolf's Bane, the Duchess carrying Wolf's Bane. Poisoned daggers, they're poisoned if it's effective for one attack. A strand of pearls on Candela, worth 600 gold. The 2 thieves may be used by the DM as non-player characters or as a normal dungeon encounter.
So this is kind of turning the trope on its head a little bit. As opposed to which is also, it's interesting that it's being noted this early in the game's history, that it's like, oh yeah, we got to include some we've talked about it many times before, including a hot babe,
dungeon bait.
Yeah, including some dungeon bait, including a hot babe or two is definitely something our audience is into. But this is like, yes, they're a hot babe, and yes, they are kind of playing the damsel in distress. Yes, they're playing the damsel in distress card.
Yeah, but it's very clearly represented in the module that they certainly aren't.
Yes,
and that they are here attempting to take advantage of the people that they come across. Now, it does not say that they're out to cut their throats. Sure. It does not say that they are out to steal from them.
Not necessarily. I mean, they are. I mean, let's be clear here. They are thieves.
They are thieves, yes. And thieves in general would probably want to have a little bit more like numbers surrounding them.
Sure.
So I think it's a really kind of canny way to take the trope and make it work for you.
Yes.
Like, in a sense of, we're going to give you kind of the rough outline. It looks like this, but you can do whatever you want to with it. We're giving you kind of a direction to go. Are they just mercenaries and they're only out for themselves and they will abandon the party if they think that it will get them out? Are they actually like, neutral evil and they will try to steal from the party? Are they doing something else? Well, that's another part of the openness of this. You can kind of decide how and where they're supposed to act.
So is there any given payoff for these, or does it just say this happens and then the DM is supposed to continue it or not?
That's it. Yeah. They're just a pair of thieves.
Wow.
Yeah. They're a pair of thieves that are sneaking around the dungeon and they see a party of people. And it just tells you the first thing they're going to try to do is be like, oh, we're 2 lost little lambs. We want to help out, but we're just like really inexperienced. And we could use some big, strong, multi-level adventurers to like help get us out of here.
Oh, man.
They're opportunistic.
Yes,
more than anything else.
I like the setup, because this is something I don't think that, especially DMs who haven't DM'd a lot, this isn't something that they would do. They wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, I'm just going to include these NPCs here, and either my players fall for it or they don't, right? They're thinking more monster trap treasure, as opposed to this is almost your like, it's like social hacking, in a way. Maybe that
very
makes
much
sense
so
to me. It's like most of the hacking, if you don't know what like social or like social hacking is like, most hacking doesn't happen. It's not two idiots on a keyboard like click, 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 oh, we're in, click, 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 click. It's somebody who pretends to be somebody and convinces you to give you their password. There's no computer skills involved. It's all there's no intelligence. It's all charisma.
Yep.
So that's kind of what this ends up being, which is interesting. I could see like them hanging around, them sticking there, being a little, trying to help a little bit in a battle maybe, and then you take your first long rest, and then you wake up and they're gone, and some of the stuff that you found is also gone.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, or many other. Maybe they stick around for a little while. Maybe it was very interesting.
There's nothing to say that they can't be actually contributing members of the party for a little while.
You may have a thief in your party. They may be able to. They may be thieves in class only.
There's a lot of different ways that you could take that, and I think that that's something that is important to embrace if you're coming into this.
Yes.
How would you as a DM want to handle that? Now, your party may have other things. Your party may see just like two cats. They see people coming in, they just arch their back and hiss, and they're just like, fuck off.
And
it's entirely mercenary.
And that's fair.
There are no rules.
And that is completely fair. Like that's a way to do it. But when you close the door, you may not ever see what is on the other side.
Yep. And if they decide to attack, they will find that they are pretty.
They can handle them.
They're not as helpless as they seem.
They can handle themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
though I'm interested in the three-headed monsters. Don't think I forgot about that part.
Oh no! We mentioned them. So directly to the south of this room, there is a second large room. There's connected by a small hallway that's on the back side of these rooms. It's just kind of like a kind of a separate connecting hallway between the two that doesn't go out into the main hallway. And this is another room full of bedrolls, furniture. Mm-hmm. It's clearly a second half of a barracks. There are footlockers on the wall covered in dust. Outlines of weapons and shields are on the wall, indicating at one time they sported the tools of the trade for the occupants, as well as decorations for the otherwise barren room. Mm-hmm. If the party decides to search the room, roll for Wandering Monster using the Wandering Monster table. Ooh. No other monster may be found while in this area. During the search, it specifically is like, let's get some of these other monsters in here. During the search, there is a 20% chance each party member searching that 3 strange gold coin-like octagons will be found.
What the hell?
These octagons can be used to open a secret compartment in the base of a statue in room 14. If the octagons are sold, their value is between 10 and 100 gold pieces each. They're widgets. They're keys.
Yeah.
They're not gold pieces, but they would stand out.
Okay.
All right. So these rooms are explored. Mm-hmm. Your corridor leads either to the north to a doorway or to the south where it meets that long-running east-west hallway. And you have a door going to the west.
Let's keep going to new stuff. Let's not backtrack quite yet.
So going north, there is a doorway that leads past that northern barracks and the secret door that you entered in originally. It is going to open to a set of stairs and a downward slope that leads down into a cave area. Another kind of like cavey, caverny, not constructed dungeon. Wind whistles softly through this dark, damp cave, carrying with it a musky smell. In the entranceway of the cave are 2 sets of animal chains. Straw is scattered about the floor, along with jagged bones. If the party opts to enter the cave, they will soon find themselves face to face with a very hungry and very young cave bear cub. It appears to have been abandoned by its mother. Though there is a 1% chance per turn, she will return.
Ooh.
If players offer it food, meat, it will eat it gladly, but warily watch and growl at the players while it devours the food. If the party captures the cub, they will be forced to sell it, as they will find it is too big, too wild, and too hungry for them to afford to keep. Its value on the open market is between 200 and 400 gold pieces. However, the DM may wish to have the cub auctioned off in a bazaar, or can allow the players to have it tamed and trained at a great cost.
Yeah, that's happening.
Training can be done only by a skilled animal trainer and will cost anywhere from between 200 to 700 gold and take between 4 and 24 weeks. This will allow the DM to continue the game into the city.
Yeah, that bear cub's coming with most teams.
Yep. Finding some kind of animal cub that you raise and keep is kind of one of those secret achievement unlocks that almost every party has one person who's holding
one person wants to do that, and they will take over the game here for the first time probably when this comes up. And it's nice that you kind of lean into that you do give them the option.
Yeah. So this is a kind of looping cave system. It kind of doglegs back into a dead-end corner, possibly where these bears might sleep. It proceeds kind of curling around west and then south. And there's another room, and that room connects back to that long east-west hallway. But there are also a pair of doors up here on the top half of this cave. So you can either check out the room that the cave connects to, or you can check out the doors.
Go doors.
Go doors. 2 doors. Left door, right door?
Left.
On the left. Door on the left is an empty room. Mm-hmm. Another room that you can fill this with a monster, treasure, and trap of your choice.
Gotcha.
It has a false door at the back end of it, leading nowhere. Yeah. So curling around to the right-hand door instead, you had a 50-50 shot and you chose wrong. This elongated hexagonal room is littered with smelly, moldy red towels. There's also a lot of dried up pink soap in broken blue ceramic containers, decorated with romantic scenes of mermaids swimming around proud ships and singing songs to the sailors. This beautiful marble floors are white, veined in black and gold. Each of the 6 walls is decorated with ornately carved wooden towel racks and copper torch sconces, which are now tarnished due to lack of care. A lovely bench of black marble with white and gold streaks occupies the center of the room. A faded red cushion, now ruined by dry rot, lies beside the bench.
So we're in the spa.
Yep. Hidden in a towel under the bench is a gold-colored key on a thin gold chain. There is only a 15% chance the players will find the key unless they specifically state they are looking under the bench, at which point they will discover it. The key will open the secret door in room 12, which is just around the corner. If it is sold, the key and chain together only brings 1 gold and 6 silver pieces. So there is a door to the north. Heading through it brings you into a room shaped exactly like the last one, but it is a large pool filled with clear water. The walls of this room are lavishly decorated with murals of water nymphs, ponds with long reeds extending upwards to the sun, and brave hunters stalking water birds. Here, as in the last room, are moldy, rotten towels. There are also 7 delicately carved vials of scented bath oils, and a rather large peacock feather fan, now rotted, which is propped in one corner. If the party looks at the pool closely, they will discover what appears to be a rather large diamond embedded in the center of the pool.
Oh, shit.
Okay, we're about to get a really, a new monster. It's called a Diger. D-I-G-E-R.
Okay.
Like tiger, but with a D.
Like a tiger that makes you die.
This gem is actually the Eye of the Diger.
Is it the thrill of the fight?
Well, you're about to, because it also, like a lot of these other monsters in here, will paralyze you.
Oh, God.
It is an amoebic monster that seeks rock or stone areas in which to camouflage itself as a pool. It's the water temple monster from Ocarina of Time.
Oh, shit. So the
pool is an amoeba.
The whole pool is the monster? Holy shit. What if you're inside of it?
It is incapable of attacking anyone or anything until the victim enter the Diger's pool, at which point it may attempt to paralyze him or her. All saves made versus the paralysis are at +2. If a character fails to save, they will fall into the liquid-like body of the Daiger and drown in 1 turn. If the victim remains in the pool for the 48 turns? Yes. Then it will completely digest the victim, and no remains, including metal, will be found.
So, you said 48 as in...
It takes 48 turns to dissolve.
Gotcha.
They drown in a single turn.
Then it's just a matter of digestion.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a pool that has a gem in the bottom of it, and you're like, ooh, yeah, there's a gem in them thar pools. And you step on it, and it's like, nope, this is a paralyzing amoeba that is going to eat you. And you kind of just slump down.
So do you fight this thing, or is it just more like a hazard?
No, kind of, sort of. You know how some jellies or puddings in D&D are mostly just like they're traps, and they kind of drop bear onto you, and then you just like beat them. Kind of like this. It does fly. It does
flies?
Swim. It flies 90 feet.
What the
It swims 120.
Okay.
Yeah. So it could just like blurp up, but it is hard to hit. It only has 10 hit points. But it paralyzes folks pretty good.
and then sucks them into the pool, and it's like a pitcher plant. It just digests you.
Yeah,
Wild.
it's the classic like dungeon morphology of the evolutionary chain of this thing has evolved to work exactly the way that a dungeon specific monster should work. I hide myself like a pool, and I put a shiny thing at the bottom of me that adventurers want, and I eat them.
It's an anglerfish, but for adventurers.
Yeah.
Wild.
I know. There are vials of oils in here worth a gold piece each. The feather fan, due to its condition, only is worth 5 copper pieces. On the far side of the room, the west side, there is a false door. On the south side of the room, there is a secret door that your elvish ears would prick up and find. Opening the secret door, you get into a square room. If you kind of look at this looks like a Simon Says little thing that has the different panels of colors that you click on it. So there are kind of 4 rooms that are hexagons that are all surrounding a center square.
Okay,
room.
yeah.
So you've been circling around it a little bit. You've hit 3 of the 4 sides so far. So now you're in the middle of this. Upon entering this room, the first thing you notice is a small pink marble pedestal about dwarf-sized in height. Any light entering the room will gleam off of a small object atop the pedestal, silver in color. Other than the pedestal, the room seems empty. When a character gets within 1 foot of the pedestal, by like stepping into the room and walking up to it, the silver pendant on top of the pedestal will begin to emit a silver glow, which will illuminate the entire room. After 1 round, hysterical laughter will seem to come from the pendant, and anyone within 10 feet of it, in other words, everyone in the room, must make a save versus death ray, or fall into a fit of uncontrollable laughter, which will last 3 rounds, or until the pendant is removed from the pedestal. I don't know if this is the first incarnation of Tasha's hideous laughter, but it's Tasha's hideous laughter. However, the pendant can only affect 3 people at any given time. All others will be immune until there are no longer 3 people in its area of effect. Once the pendant has been successfully removed, the stricken character will no longer be affected by the pendant, and all laughter will cease. Characters who were affected will lose 2 points of strength and 1 point for constitution for 2d8 turns because they have been laughed so hard.
You crack a rib.
The pendant has no sale value.
Wow. So it just screws with you for a little bit.
Yeah. It is there to like just kind of act as a trap more than anything else. Or an alarm and trap.
Yeah, you better hope you're not fighting the pool and you stumble into this the secret door as the pool is flying around trying to dissolve you, and you end up face first on the ground laughing while the pool slowly slurps you into its depths. Right?
Exactly. That's the end of part 2 of Palace of the Silver Princess. What other weird and wild Wellsian wonders await further in the palace? Find out in part 3. As always, we have a new release every other Tuesday. If you hate cliffhangers and like your podcasts long and all at once, though, we offer the entire episode, start to finish, uninterrupted, over on our Patreon. Find out more at our home base, analogdungeon.com. If you enjoyed this, please inform the internet, all of them, every last one, by liking the episode, subscribing if you're not, and leaving us a note in the comments. We will see you next time.